ChatGPT 5.6 just dropped, and it might be the worst news of the year so far. OpenAI just announced it, and it is a third of the price of Mythos. It beats it on every terminal benchmark and is legitimately the best technology humanity has created to date. The only catch is you cannot have it. OpenAI and the US government put a velvet rope around the future, handing the keys to exactly 20 hand-selected corporations. Here's why the age of open tech may be over, what happens next, and at the end, what you can do about it. All right, so OpenAI released 5.6 in 3 different versions. We have Sol, the more complicated, high token usage, higher cost model, Terra, their middle tier model, and then Luna, the model you can think of as for the quick, high volume tasks. And it makes sense that OpenAI is going in this direction because it allows them to kind of bucket and segment the tasks that need to be completed by these models. So it's not a one size fit all. You can do high volume, relatively simple tasks with a model that isn't going to cost you a fortune. What I think a lot of people are glancing over that was actually spoken about in the release is the verbiage right here. Additionally, we're introducing a new ultra mode that goes beyond the capabilities of a single agent by leveraging sub-agents to accelerate complex work. So you can think of Sol Ultra as an orchestration agent that has many sub-agents under it. It'll be able to manage other models that are more appropriate for the vertical of work that they're completing. So if you're thinking about a business or just the nature of work in general, you're potentially able to replace a large portion of operations with an ultra Sol agent managing a bunch of other sub-agents to complete the operations for that business. Or if a human is doing a certain task and arriving to a certain solution, can Sol with sub-agents replace the human? So we're really thinking about the future of work. And the most important part of this is you don't get access to these models. So a lot of people have been saying on the internet and joking, the permanent underclass. What does that mean? Well, if the frontier model is maybe classified or only released in a certain version to selected companies by the government, how can you actually compete with companies who are working with models at the frontier? For example, based on the benchmarks here, we can see these are the greatest models released to date. And how competitive can you be as a company if you're working with models that maybe are watered down or models that aren't as intelligent when you're competing with someone who has the frontier of intelligence? And it just leaves a lot of questions around the market because now people say, well, in the future, as these models get better, do you even know what the intelligence level is of the frontier models out there versus what you actually get access to in the marketplace? So this is where the joke, the permanent underclass, comes from. And does that happen? Does that not? It's yet to be seen. All right, so let's imagine what this means practically. Imagine you are a company who does not have access to Sol Ultra, but you're competing against a company who has access to Sol Ultra. So we have the benchmarking here. We can see it's better than Mythos 5. It's better than Fable 5. It's better than GPT 5.5. We can also come down here and see, we can look at the output tokens. We can see the cost, and we can see Sol is quite a bit more expensive than Luna. And we have the Terra model, which is naturally in the middle. But you're competing against someone who has access to Sol. Now, if I have access to Sol for a week, that doesn't just give me a little bit of an advantage. This compounds every day. Every iteration that I am using in intelligence that is way better than yours, you're just falling further and further behind. So if you're competing against me, how are you going to, after a month or weeks of me just compounding every single day and iterating at the faster rate, ever going to catch up to me? When you look back in a quarter or 2 quarters or a year, you will be so far behind the company using the frontier model, it's not even going to be close. And here's what nobody's talking about. We've seen this happen before. When AWS first came out, the companies that got access to it built incredibly deep moats. When the App Store first came out, the companies that launched first built incredible moats. And they weren't necessarily the best apps on the App Store. It's just they were there first. Now their moat is just incredibly difficult. And a lot of companies are never even going to touch them, even though they may have better products. So when you think about companies out there with access to Sol or frontier models in the future, if you're a startup or if you are just in the free market trying to change a product that's out there or change a software that's out there, do you even have a chance if you're fighting against someone who is iterating every single day with the frontier model while you're using, for example, a model that was released whenever. So if you're just comparing GPT 5.5 versus Sol Ultra, you can see the difference here on the benchmarks. That iterates and compounds every single day. Now, I want to be fair here because the reasonable counter argument to all of this is that open source models are catching up. We've seen it with Mistral, with Llama, with DeepSeek. They're never that far behind. And on top of that, you're able to put these locally on hardware so you can run them at any time. Open source has been remarkable. That's the absolute truth. But there is one big issue, and that is the timeline. But the issue is we don't even know theoretically where the frontier model can go. So by the time you're getting access to models and you're comparing them to open source, you're saying, okay, well, they're kind of relatively close. But if some models are just given away to hand selected or hand picked companies by the powers that be politically, you can't compete with that. But wait, there is one scenario where none of this matters, and that is the one that can be helpful to you. Here's the thing most people are going to miss while they're busy panicking about not having access to the latest model. The bottleneck was never the model. The bottleneck is the system around it. Think about it this way. The companies with access to Sol Ultra or the next frontier model aren't going to win just because they have access to the model. They're the ones who built the data infrastructure, the feedback loops, and the workflows that allow these models to deliver the most value. It's like having access to a Ferrari, but driving it on a dirt road. It may not be the best tool for the circumstances that you're in. So having the infrastructure in place to use these tools is the most important part. So what does that mean for you? It means there is an arbitrage window that is open right now. Most people are going to look at this news and freeze. They're going to hesitate and wait to see how it plays out. And that hesitation is the opportunity. There are specific plays here. First are niche verticals. The frontier advantage matters most in complex reasoning tasks. In highly specified domains such as legal, medical, operational tasks, a well-structured workflow with a mid-tier model and proprietary data will be a frontier model every single time. Specificity is the moat here. Second is the orchestration layer. OpenAI just described Sol Ultra as managing agents. That is going to be the standard moving forward. Businesses that figure out how to build systems well around these types of agent setups will be the businesses that win. You can sit outside the velvet rope, but still build the infrastructure that connects everything inside of your business. Third, and this is the most important one, is the data layer. The models will commoditize as they always do. What doesn't commoditize is your proprietary data, your customer relationships, and your institutional knowledge. But it needs to be structured in a way that the model can leverage. If you can build that out now, your advantage is model agnostic. You don't need the best model, you need the best system. It is the implementation that counts. Here's what you can actually do, and here are 3 things that you can start doing now. 1 is audit your model dependency. Go through the tasks you and your team are using AI for and ask yourself honestly, do I need a frontier model for this, or do I just need something basic? A lot of tasks we're using powerful models for do not need that type of intelligence to be completed. Identify those tasks, optimize for cost, and redirect your resources to using complex reasoning models on things that actually move the needle. 2 is to start building your data layer. Whatever business niche you're in, start structuring your knowledge, your operations, and your processes in a way that AI can leverage. The people who have this organized can simply drop in the model and get the insights from the frontier intelligence to help move their business forward. And that is, again, not dependent on a frontier model. That is dependent on the infrastructure that you have in place. You can drop a mid-tier model in and get the same type of output. Number 3 is stop figuring this out alone. This is genuinely the fastest moving space anyone has ever operated in. And the people who are navigating it best are the ones who are having conversations with real builders. That third reason is the reason I built my community. You want to have a place where you can pressure test ideas. You want to be able to talk to smart people. You want to be able to see what people are doing in the trenches day to day. If that's you, the link is in the description. We hope to see you inside. And again, the point, whether you have access to the frontier model or not, 99.99% of issues inside a business do not need a frontier model to solve. So even if we're just coming down here and looking at, for example, knowledge is becoming a commodity and the price is literally just becoming peanuts. Luna, input million tokens $1, Sol it's $5, output for a million tokens of Sol it's 30, for Luna it's 6. And again, if you're thinking about business workflows or operations or automations, you don't necessarily need the most complex reasoning thought process to solve them. It is literally about stringing together some APIs, some agents to get an outcome that is way more efficient than what is currently being done in a business. This does not take Albert Einstein. The models out there currently today are more than enough to solve so many problems. The opportunity is out there. And there is truly something to be said about the open source models. A lot of people will get local hardware to run open source models in their homes. And what that looks like, we saw Apple raise their prices on some of their hardware. There's some other hardware options out there, but there are a lot of questions to maybe think about when you're thinking about the data infrastructure build out over the next few years. How difficult does it become to even get hardware to run some of these models locally? There's a lot going on, but at the end of the day, there has never been as much opportunity as there is today to leverage AI agents inside of businesses to get better outcomes. And if you want to learn more about AI or how to use AI, check the link in the description. We have a community there. I hope to see you inside.